Hi, welcome back to my channel, One Hill of a Life. I'm Catherine Hill, and I want to talk to you today about books that give us the fall cozy vibes to possibly add them to your TBR, or the books that just for me scream fall. And I hope that you, if you've not already read them, that you will pick one up. So let's just jump into today. So right now, where I am at, we are in what I call false fall. It is still August when I'm recording this, and we are in a pressure dip. So it's in the low mid 70s right now for us, where we just had a heat wave of being like in the 80s and 90s a week ago. Now we are in false fall. We got all the fall coziness, school's in session, but it's not real. I know that we will most likely have a few more heat waves before we are really into autumn and heading straight to winter. But there's a few books I want to share to start setting us up for the next few months, for the burr months, as I like to say. So getting started, my number one thing here is I've got two different kinds of books. There's the just books that are like fall, autumnal, dark academia, and then there's spooky books, books that are meant for more Halloween season, spooky season, a little creepier. And you are welcome to take it or not, but I just think these are good books, books that some people haven't heard of or haven't thought of as fall books. So I'm just going to jump into it. So getting started, I want to start with just the fall dark academia vibes, which a big one I know is on a lot of people's TBRs, and I read this a couple years ago in the fall, is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. It definitely has the dark academia vibe. It has like makes me want to have like pleated pants and a men's sport jacket, and just it brings up the cold and the weather and the changing of seasons and passage of time and the things that we keep hidden. So very good. I would say overall an extremely beautifully written book. It was an okay story. I felt like the ending could have been better, but it is just a beautifully written book of a beautiful piece of literature. So if you've not already read it, but beware, it is chunky. She be thick. So it did take me a little bit of time to read this when I did, but it was just how beautiful. It's well worth it. The next one, and I don't know why, but this feels like a fall book to me, and it is The Godfather by Mario Puzo. I don't know if it's because I remember when I read this for the first time, it was when I was in high school, and I'm pretty sure it was in the fall, and it just was like a aspect where it's like it's kind of dark. There's a lot of mystery. It felt very like there should be a crisp coolness to the air while reading this. Don't know why, it's just how it feels for me, and kind of goes with the next one too. But it's one of probably my ultimate books of all time, definitely top 3, and that is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I've read this a couple of times throughout my life, different seasons. I first read it in high school for an English class, and then I read it again in my mid-20s, and I probably should read it again now that I'm in my mid-30s. But just a great book about a woman, a girl becoming a woman, and the things life has. It just feels like there should be mists and crisp air and long walks, and I just really enjoy it as a fall vibe book. That's all I got for the fall vibe books. Now we're going to head into my creepy books. Now, all of these books I have read at some point in my life, and I do think that they are great for like the fall vibes. Oh, another fall vibe book is Outlander. I don't have a copy of it. I only have a digital copy, but Outlander, the series by Diana Gabaldon, just brings up autumn and fall to me. It might have to do with like the show came out 10 years ago or 11 years ago. It came out 11 years ago about this time of year, and it just really resonated me with that season of life I was in. I haven't finished the series. I read books 1 through 5, 10 years, 11 years ago, and then I petered out, and I haven't read 6, 7, 8. I think there's even a ninth book, and I haven't read any of the spin-offs. Hopefully I will get there, but if not, that's okay. But those are another, like, it's another good, like, fall feeling. Now we're gonna go into the spooky books. I got confused. Okay, my first book. It is more, it's set in the summer. So this is going to be perfect for right now because we're not in full autumn. It is set in the summer, and it talks about the heat and the humidity of the where the story's set. And it is Summer of Night by Dan Simmons. Dan Simmons is a sci-fi horror novelist. Uh, what I love about Summer of Night is that the descriptions of where the story is set. Very similar to where I live. I felt it's hard for me to find books that represent rural Midwest stories. But this was one that just like really resonated. I love the way he described the cornfields. I love the way he described how hot it was, because it felt like I was there. And I have a personal feeling of how it is, but it is a creepy factor to it. There's a mystery, and a bunch of 12-year-olds are trying to solve this mystery and figure out what's going on in their small rural Illinois town. Another book for spooky season that I read last year is Magic Lessons by Alice Hoffman. This is book one in a series of books. Well, it's actually like book three. She kind of went out of chronological order with this series, but this is a part of the Practical Magic series. So if you have watched the movie Practical Magic, you definitely know about this series of books. This is the only book in the series I have read. I'm hoping to read the rest of the series at some point. But I really loved this. This was a great book with the story of the witch vibes, everything that Maria goes through in her journey as a human, especially during the Salem witch trials. Loved it. Great book. Another one, or this is a twofer, because I read it in the spring, but definitely think it would be more fun to read it in the fall, is the King Shepherd series by Rachel Gellig, with One Dark Window, book one, and book two, Two Twisted Crowns. I think these would be fun to read right now. I mean, any of the romantasy books are going to give that dark, dark fall vibe to me. So if you haven't read these, I think these would be perfect for this time of year, especially the closer we get to October. But I enjoyed these. It was a good dip into a different time of realm. They talk about the mist, so it just those good things. I like a good foggy day, and these definitely that plays a part in this book series. And the last book, and this is just because this is one of the books I have read by this author, and that is Stephen King's 11/22/63. I read this book a number of years ago, probably 12 or 13 years ago. It's thick, but it is such a good book. I've only read 3 Stephen King books. That includes this one, The Shining, and his memoir called On Writing, which was a phenomenal book. Probably the book that I've enjoyed the most out of those 3. But if you can see behind me, this is our Stephen King bookcase. My husband is a huge Stephen King fan, as well as my mother-in-law, where my husband's love for it comes. My mother-in-law for sure has read everything Stephen King has ever written. My husband is working his way through all of Stephen King's titles as we go, and he's very excited for this challenge for himself. But I have to say, this one gives a good fall vibe. It probably has to do with the fact that it takes place in November, but good book. Definitely, if you're looking for stories that will scare the crap out of you, Stephen King is a great author for that. He's probably the quintessential sci-fi horror author for me, when I think about just the impact he's had on culture with both the books and the movies and TV shows that have come out based on his series. A lot of what we have today is because of that. In my opinion, very much could be wrong, and that's okay by me. A few books that I have added to my ever expanding TBR to read for spooky is I want to finish the Practical Magic series. I'd like to eventually finish the Outlander series. But the other one that really came up for me is the All Souls series by Deborah Harkness. And this is because I've seen the ads, it's popped up for the show, A Discovery of Witches. And I was talking to my sister-in-law about this. I'm like, oh, I want to watch this show. And she's like, great show. There's books. And I said, wait, there's books? And she's, yes. So I would like to read the books first before I head into the TV series. So we'll see if that happens. But those are just things that, like, this time of year, we're heading into the spooky season. I do enjoy Halloween, not necessarily for like the creepy and the gore side of it, but just the spirit of Halloween. I love it. I love having costumes. My family, like, we host Halloween for trick-or-treating and everything at our house. So I really enjoy this season that's coming up. These are just some books. If you're interested in reading any of them, I have read all of the titles I shared except for my TBRs. So I know for me, these were really good books. I enjoyed them. If you happen to pick one up and read it, please let me know, because I'd like to know your opinion if you think it's as good as I do. The other thing, I just really hopeful, like I said, I really hope that you found some books that you would enjoy. However you choose to celebrate the fall, whether you write it off and you don't enjoy the fall, or if you are a hardcore autumnal girly, or you're a person that's in for the gore and the horror shows and movies of this season. However you choose to celebrate, I think I picked out some good options for anybody in those lines. There's a book for everybody, for every season. I'm going to start looking into book suggestions for families, so kids, hopefully in like the young adult, middle grade, and lower elementary levels. So be on the lookout for that possibility of a video coming up later. And I hope that you had a great summer, and I will see you in the next one.